We're co-worker, Colinoma's colleague, James, on the call. It ain't working. He's now coming upstairs to come and sit next to you instead. Holy shit. What happened?
IT guru, that's what happened. I won't get that.
Wait 1 second, I need to shut my door.
Story of your life. Fucking
I'm the IT guy, and I was the first one that couldn't get on tonight. I ended up somehow blocking my camera and mic for the first time ever. So,
mate, it's all those dodgy bloody websites you're looking at when Caitlin's not there. So, yeah. Hello. Welcome, ladies and gents. As you know, my name's Robbie. Welcome to Axon's live Q&A. We've got a couple of special guests with us tonight as Angie Paradise and Sammy Wynn joins us. So we'll see the rest of them come in shortly. Bradley, James, my man, so good to see yourself. And Shanae, not Shanae, the other night.
Yeah.
As well, buddy. So that was good to catch up. Shania is in the page, is in the group. Patina's here as well. And then, yes, Caitlin, James, and in the house, look out. Natalie's come to join us as well. So this is our live Q&A. We talk about all things property. We talk about defense transition. We talk about starting your own business. And obviously my two guests here today, you may, or tonight even, depending on where you're listening, it's still today over in Perth and fucking somewhere in Europe. Hello to all of our fans over in Europe, by the way. The last time you saw James and Caitlin, James got changed out of his civvy shirt, and it's the first time he put his Axon shirt on because he just started with us. And now, of course, Caitlin, I'm not going to get you to break the internet by you taking your shirt off. Jesus fucking hate you. You can leave your shirt on. You're now a proud member of the Axon team. I love it. Hi, Team Wilkinson is in the house.
That's right. Double team.
A little fun fact. There are 3 married couples that now work in the business. Obviously, Tammy and I, that you all guys, obviously all of you love both of us. No one loves us. We've got James and Caitlin, and we've got another couple. I'll leave that as a bit of a secret for now, but we've got another couple that works in the business as well. Hello, Mum. I'll try not to say the F word. Look at that. I haven't even sworn yet.
Hi, Mum.
But yeah, here we go. Natalie's in the house. Jen Gaylor, good to see you. Freddie's in the house. Hello from Steve as well. Absolutely. And Darren Max just joined us as well. So, hey, what a bloody brilliant year this has been. Caitlin, just remind me, how long have you been with us? Did you actually start? Because I've known you so long out of Axon. I can't remember your exact start date because you've been in my life for ages.
I started in March.
Okay.
With Axon, yeah.
Actually, I do. It's funny. We've known each other a long time. You were clients of ours.
I sure was.
Is a whole other story. We'll go into that soon. and when Tammy and I decided that we were going to actually sit down with you, Caitlin, and seriously say, hey, look, we want you to come on board. We went across the road, Cafe Catalina. You were there with little Teddy, and I'd never seen you so nervous. I'm like, oh, myself, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why are you just being normal? And you're like stuttering through your words. I'm like, this is not a job interview. We're just like seeing where you're at, buddy. What's happening? Tell us about that.
I was so nervous. I don't know why. I love you and I love Tamara, and we just get on so well. The 4 of us, when we're all together, it's just like family. We're just
like a house on fire.
We're crazy. But I was just so scared because I'm like, I just don't, at that point, I didn't really know you as an employer. So I was just so scared. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. They're going to hate me. I don't know why I thought that, but I did.
So weird. We've seen each other in blind, vulnerable positions before. And all of a sudden, fucking string of bloody, not like that, James, bloody string of sends together. So, you've been a fantastic addition to the team, mate. I remember talking to you today when we did our build support review, and Natalie's talked about, and the girls know this and the girls know that. The jigsaw puzzle that was now it's fallen into place for you, hasn't it?
It really has. And it's just so good that I know my clients by name and I know exactly what's happening in their build, and I can go there and I can get updates for them and I can tell them all these good news. And I feel it, and I feel it for my clients because I'm just like, oh my God, guys, your house is going along. And it's just so fun. And yeah, it's just really good to know them and to talk to them, and all my calls that I'm doing. It's great. And I'm really getting a really good rush of it because I'm helping somebody else with their dream. Like you helped James and I when we started and built our first house with you. And it was just amazing.
So good.
I think the biggest transition I've seen at the moment is from when we first built our house, when I was still serving. I was the one that was engaged and doing this and like organizing or, engaging and learning and really wanting to be a part of the journey. And Caitlin's more like, once she just had that level of trust, with Axon and everything started, she basically just sat back and was like, yeah, that's all right. So and we see it a lot, don't we, Robbie? Like a lot of people, and it's fine. It just shows the level of trust that, people just sit back and go, that's all right, Axon's got this. I'll just see the house at the end. Yep. And then I'll just see the money roll in the bank. And that's how Caitlin was for a long time. And I'm like, Caitlin, what about this? What about this? She's like, oh, it'll get sorted. And now that she's in the build support role, it's like now she's the one that's taking the lead in the, and just going nuts about it, which is great.
It's a good point, buddy. Caitlin, now that you have made the transition, like you've been watching James as his wife work and live his best life in Axon for 18 months. Now you've been with us, so you've stepped inside the box or come to the dark side, or you looked across like the other side of the mirror, whatever metaphor you want to use, right? Yeah. Can you think back? Actually, maybe no, not think back's not the right term. Now the jigsaw puzzle makes sense. Can you actually try and think back to what was your impression of us beforehand versus what you actually put forward now? And like now you know who we are. What's the differences?
Yeah.
It's all right. We've got a crier with us, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a crier.
No, I had said I will not cry tonight because I cry every single day at the Axon.
Challenge accepted.
Not in a bad way.
Challenge accepted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell me, Caitlin, I love seeing you like this. You're a gem.
To be honest, it is very big eye opener. I have built the investment property with you, as I had said. We're building our current dream home right now, and it's amazing. But there is just another level to building a house that I just did not know about at all. And even though James would come home and he'd talk to me about clients, talk to me about EOIs, talk to me about all these, calls that he'd done with everybody, it is a different level to actually being in it with everyone. When
you say different level, explain that to me.
It's a different level because you know so much and you are getting to know like every single detail of what you're going to be doing with your clients. Like something I didn't know about, like Nat came back to me and was like, hey, guess what? On your 12-month, inspection warranty, you had nothing on your house. And I'm like, I never knew that before, And this is the thing, like I'm doing like building approval checks for my clients. I'm doing, variation checks for my clients, EOTs. I didn't realize the level of detail that Axon actually goes to make sure that that is perfect and to make sure that that is legit and that we're not getting our clients stuffed around. And it's just the level that Axon goes to. It's just something that I never realized before.
She's no longer the duck on the top of the water anymore, Robbie.
Yeah,
she's doing these ones.
Oh yeah.
As you explain a lot, it's the feet under the water, right? And now she's really seeing how hard those feet work.
And just to see how every team in Axon works, to see how the property specialists actually work day to day, not just James at home, is amazing to see. To see the marketing team and to see how much they work, like that is just that in itself. The marketing team is so impressive. It's just next level.
Yeah, they're weapons. Like the fact that we have not spent $1 on marketing this year to continue to get the opportunity to help people, and it hasn't cost us any dollars out the door, even though we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 4.5, 5 years to get it to that point. Every business owner in the world would love to have that opportunity of having a brand and a reputation like that. So, but there's so much going on from an organic, here's the thing, everyone listening in, go back to our Facebook page and scroll and watch our stories. It's literally, it is fucking on like Donkey Kong every single day. There's so much different stuff. Like James, got out of an awesome coaching session this afternoon. Yeah. That lovely couple down in Sydney. And I was like, I just couldn't stop talking. I was on such a high because they gave me so much energy back through the screen. Yeah. Isn't that true, Caitlin? When you're talking to a client,
like they were just...
You can feel the energy through the screen, can't you? Like it's a really unique experience. And when you're getting smiles and all those non-verbal cues coming through from the client, I was like, Fuck, I love doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Fuck, I love the opportunity. Sorry, Mum, that's twice. Gee, I like the opportunity of helping people do things. And then we did like a little story as well after it. So, like more content on social media. So I'm becoming more and more comfortable in front of the camera. And I don't mind sort of telling people, the truth about everything that's going on. So we got a quick little question here from Fran from the Gold Coast. What's it like to work with your husband? That's Fran that works here at Axon, by the way. What's it like to work with your husband, Mrs. Wilkinson?
It's very, very good. And
very good.
It is very, very good. Not in the aspect where we just get along okay and we're able to work together and be mature about things. It's just in the fact that, and I've said it before, that when we come home, we are mum and dad. That's all we are. And we have 3 children ranging from
You're
one
right about the raging part.
And raging.
From 1 to 13. And it's like, we are nonstop mum all the time, mum and dad. And then when we come to the office, we're just Caitlin and James. And it's like, it's the only time that we can forget about the kids and we can just be us. And whilst we're working, we are still us because we're still having fun. We're not coming to work, as Robbie says, we're coming to the office and we're doing what we love. And I'm loving being there. And so is James. So we're just Caitlin and James. And it's just awesome to see us like that for a change.
It's like when the kids are sick or we have to spend the day looking after them. We have to have a fight. We have to tab it or take it in turns and like, no, you stay at home. No, stuff that. I'm going in the office. Like, you stay at home. So we're like, oh, can we bring them in and put them in the corner and we'll just let them, do that thing over there.
And for themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Mate, it's gold. James, from your perspective, what's it like having your wife now in the same office space?
Oh, it's great. I actually love how much she's really embraced it and the fact that, I've always been interested in how every job that she's had, she's excelled in very quickly. And I've always obviously wondered how fast you can excel because she looks at that second, third level of, problem solving and what can we do next and what can we do to fix, potentially something or increase a process, make it better, make it faster. And watching, Caitlin sitting next to Nat and Fran, they're just a powerhouse trio right now because all 3 of them just consistently looking at the processes and how can we make it better. And it's really, really proud to see that happen. And I don't have to really do much. Well, I don't have to do anything really, and actually enjoy the part where I enjoy having to go to each other for advice and assistance and helping out because it's not, because that's what we do. But yeah, I love it.
I've noticed it as well. And Caitlin, because I've known you as a friend for a long time, I've been sitting back and just watching you flourish and watching you deliver and watching you evolve in your role. And now you're being a lot more cheeky and a lot more gobby and a lot more you, but you're also being, I love it. Sometimes you come over and you're like, you want to have a bit of a banter with me. Other times you come over, you've got your game face on. You're like, hey mate, I need to talk about this. Boom, boom. This has happened. This client said this. What do we do? Can you come and help me? I'm like, fuck, I thought I was intense sometimes, but you can match me when you want to, mate. And it's really good to see.
And this is why you and I are exactly alike, Robbie.
Similar.
Down to the business.
100%. CJ Wins in the house, brother. Great to see you. Check your Facebook. I've sent you something just recently, and I'd love if you could say yes to that, please. Brenton Arthur, my man, you and I are going to have a session straight after this, so just give me 25 seconds or so after I say, goodbye to here. I'll see you soon. Shania's talking about baby cuddles. Of course, we love that. And then, Fran, you're on fire tonight, mate. Jesus Christ, like bloody give your fingers a rest. You're on fire during the day. So here we go. I'll go this one for you, James. You guys are my guests. You can do the majority of talking tonight. James, what's the one piece of advice you have for a client going through the finance process? Caitlin, you can obviously have the build process question.
I would definitely say as much information that we do give to everybody, we always give as much information for understanding what the next steps are moving forward, what the acquisition costs are, what the ongoing costs are. And as everyone experienced, we put a lot of conservative buffers in place to reduce risk even further. And then Deb will do the same, and then we topple that. So there's the amount of risk that we can minimize is as much as possible. And it's understandable that people have questions because they're parting with the good part of $500,000, or they're up to 100 or on average $100,000 deposit, right? So absolutely, Deb, love your broker for sure.
Yes,
she works very hard for you. I can tell you that right now.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I tell you what though, as you're going through the initial processes, if there are any information gaps that you might think of, and I say this to all of my clients as well, if you wake up at 11 o'clock at night and go, shit, we should have asked James about whatever, send me a message. Send me that message. Get that information out. Get that question out. I won't respond to you at 11 o'clock on a Saturday night. Probably won't. But when I get back to work, I will definitely do so. What I would rather is get all that information out, know the entire process, which you do. But obviously, there's a lot of information and there's a lot of steps in place. So you really want to be 100% confident in moving forward. And between Axon and Deb, that's our job. We will make sure that everything is covered along the way, rather than, because what we see, and it's perfectly normal, again, like I said before, when it comes to actual finance application time, some people you get nervous.
Of course.
And that's perfectly fine. So ask those questions, get them out there, be 110%, not just 100%. So yeah, that's what we're here for. Use and abuse us, please.
Yeah.
Nicely.
Definitely, information is power as far as that goes. And for those of you who have not watched that masterclass we did with Deb this time last week inside the Axon Elite Facebook group, it's still sitting there posted. It's a Zoom call, so it's live and interactive like this. Deb jumps on there and speaks wonderfully well. I'll say that in a public sense, Deb, now that you've joined us now. We've already got heaps of awesome feedback from people that have watched that masterclass. So it's another free resource for you, which we go through everything to do with the overall property cycle the property process that you'll go through, but what's happening at the macro, prudential / financial cycles that's going on right now. Caitlin, what about you? What's the one bit of advice that you're saying? I've got your message there, Samuel. Absolutely will. It's an invite, by the way, that Caitlin, what would you say to someone going through the build process right now? And we had a great session with our good friend Cameron down in Canberra last night, and he's got some questions, and he's fully involved in things, and he wants to know what's happening, and it's totally fine. But separate to that, just generic stuff there, what's your one bit of advice for someone going through the build process?
So I'll say this advice just as Caitlin going through building a house, was that it will get done. Okay, don't ever think that it won't get done. I mean, my house was pre-COVID, so I can't speak 100% of the advice for what some clients are going through these days, but just let it get done.
Our current house isn't, though. Our current house is in the market for in the process for over 12 months now.
That's it.
You got settled on your land over 12 months ago. You've only just had your slab poured, and now your first part of the frame's done.
Yeah.
So if you could have been upset, banging the drum, pissed off for 9 months.
Oh, we were.
It still wasn't going to get your slab poured any quicker, but it got done.
That's it. And you have a dedicated build support assistant there helping you and checking on you and checking on your build nonstop. So it's not like we're going, oh, it'll get there when it gets there. We are checking on it constantly. We have updates that we source as much as we can from the builders. We are going up and doing site visits. We're checking on your house. I'm constantly putting in tasks to make sure I can check in with clients to say, hey, are you okay? How's everything going? Are you going away soon? Because I just need to make sure we've got a similar ETA to be, end of this month, end of next. So I just need to make sure you're around so I can get some papers signed. But you've always got someone looking after your build. We do this and we check on your build. The build support team check on your build, nearly every single day. We've got Robbie that goes through, and we do our, meetings on a Wednesday where you check on the build and ask.
You got to report to me what's happening with every single client.
Yeah. and just let it happen. Like it will, and there will be delays and there will be the EOTs and there may be variations as well, but it's going to get done. And the more you sit here and get angry and caught up on the small things, it takes out the joy of the actual build.
I was just about to say, those only people from my observation that have not enjoyed the build process have injected themselves way too much into the process.
Yeah.
And that's just an observation. If that happens for you, fair enough. If that's not you and you've got a very hands-off approach, good on you. But that's just, if I go back and look at the, I don't know, 5 clients that have fucking hated their process with Axon over the last 5 years, the one factor is they fucking tried to take over and they thought they knew new boats.
They've driven past the house every day because they've been in the area and they're saying, why isn't this done yet? Why is that framework going up like this? Even though they're not builders and they're not carpenters, there's questions and there's doubts and there's, you know, but I read on the internet and, you know, old mate Joe said, you know, when he built his house, and it's easy to get in that spin and it's easy to overanalyze the process. So I just saw Darren Mack there, how it feels. With your particular development, mate, it's been an 18-month extension to the development of, you know, the actual estate.
Land.
But we are finally right at that finishing line, mate. And we, along with you, are super excited to see this moving forward. And in fact, Robbie, what I love to see is, you know, going back to the marketing earlier about how we haven't spent any money on marketing. And after we got off that call earlier with those clients, you know, I got a message from Darren going, hey, mate, my savings is going really well. I want to start looking at, you know, IP number 2.
Wow.
And it's like, you haven't even settled on the land yet. We haven't even started building yet. And he's already like, let's do this. Let's go number 2. So like that literally gave me a shiver down the spine going, this is great. Like obviously, you know, with the amount of delays that you have had, Darren, and, you know, but you're still super excited and super pumped and going, right, when's the next one? Like, you know, so it's brilliant to see that we've still put that faith and understanding in your process, mate.
And James, wasn't it funny to see that those clients we spoke to today, as I put on the story, so go back into our Facebook page and watch the story that we placed up this afternoon, and I'll do a very bad imitation of them, and I don't know whether they're watching. They were very standoffish when we first met. They wanted to know everything. How much they're going to cost me? When am I going to pay? How do you guys get paid? What's the process? What's the value? Like, just hitting me with everything, which was amazing because it all got put on the table, and it's been part of the conversation ever since. So for them being super cautious about getting started in a positive way, to making sure they're doing their due diligence and understanding everything that they can before they even got started on the first. The last thing we spoke about, they're like, so can we go back to the sync matrix? When are we going to be able to do our second? I was like, wow, what a transformation of, you know, they're asking me what's the trigger point for the second one to come in play.
Optimistically cautious is the word that you said to them. And they were like, yeah, that sounds like us, but not anymore. Now they're like,
similar, James. Yes. Hey, just quick, I want to go back here. I can see some of the awesome messages coming through, and I'm going to read all of them out. Franny, you were talking about how does Axon physically check each builds to track the process. I think, Caitlin, you covered off on that. I know, James, you guys are going out for a site visit to go and have a look at Darren Mack's block, etc., and amongst others in the Western Growth Corridor of Brisbane. Caitlin, I think you guys are going out the week after. So it's almost like every week or so, as I was out last week with my leadership team, every week there's someone from Axon out there doing a site survey, you know, and if it's in your area, then you're going to get a video, you're going to get a little update, and, you know, you'll be absolutely kept across what's going on there. Harriet, so lovely to hear from you. Cam absolutely mentioned your name a couple of times last night, didn't he, Caitlin?
Yes, we did.
Which was good. So you're absolutely playing an amazing mentoring role for him, and I do thank you for that. You're, you know, 1/3 the way through your second build with us, and you guys are bloody amazing. Harriet's question is, it's a ripper. Great to see the team growing. Thank you, mate. Don't get me wrong, there's been a few revolving doors, moving deck chairs, people voted off the island, etc. But, you know, the team we've got now was freaking amazing. I love the fact, I didn't foresee this occurring, but the fact we've got new faces, new ideas, new vibe, new personalities, like the business, James, you've been here long enough now, observation as a client and in the business, the vibe in the office is something like I've never experienced before.
Yes, indeed. It's gone from amazing to outstanding to the fact that we now have little bells on a couple of desks around the office. If someone's on a phone call and the office vibe is so loud, it's like ding ding ding.
Bring it down.
We've got to bring it down a little bit because someone's.
So Harriet's question is: are you planning to bring on some female property specialists, or get some gents in the build support team?
Yeah.
What a fantastic question. So it's just, we don't have a policy, Harriet, about, all right, when guys come into our world, they automatically be a property specialist, or if it's a girl that comes in, they automatically be a build support member. It's literally matching people's skills, matching people's experiences, matching people's personalities to whatever's going to be the best outcome for the business. And certainly there's always opportunity for growth within the business. And, as a bit of a bottom line up front, we've got 2 more people that are going to join us really soon, like in the next, by the end of the year, put it that way. They're already slated to come in. And that's it. We're not growing again for probably another 18 months or 2 years. We've been on a journey like this and then a couple of bumpy roads, but we're still, we've gone from Tamara and I to 15 people in 5 years. And, and we went from Tamara and I to 12 people in about 2 years. So when you've always got new people coming on, there's that form, storm, norm, perform, like team dynamics, like it's just fucking constant. So we actually want to now grow the breadth and the depth of the business, just make sure that everyone's got 2 or 3 years experience before we then start another growth campaign, recruiting campaign, and we'll go from there. So hopefully that has answered your question there, H, that it's not a strictly boys do this, girls do that. It's just how the cards have fallen so far. And Caitlin, can I feel that's the case?
Oh, yeah, like 100%. And even when we took on Shania, and she is the amazing girl that's in the property specialist team. And I was like, hold on a second. I thought we were
her again.
You did it. I'm good.
What did I say?
She's going to have you on a vice tomorrow, Robbie.
No, what it was.
I'm wrong again.
No, Caitlin. I neglected to mention Shania is already in the property specialist team.
Oh,
yes.
did I? Oh, yes. I did it. I broke it.
I don't know what I'm doing. We've got this running joke that I missed her once on a meeting, and now for some reason my subconscious still doesn't think she's there. It's fucking so embarrassing.
She's certainly not there. She is always in your face, doing something, asking questions. Absolutely.
Brenton Arthur, even though my build has taken its time, the team have been great checking in, following up. The relationship between Axon and I throughout this whole time has been damn fantastic. I can only assume we're having a positive call at the end of this, buddy. So I look forward to connecting one-on-one. CJ wins, sit back and let the build support girls do their thing. Best part of the process. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, while we're here, Caitlin, was it you that sent the video down to that person that spoke about the big thing, but that feels like it's not going on? No, that was Fran. Disregard. There's something so big going on, but we think so little of it.
Oh, yes. No, that was Fran. Sent progress photos to her client. Yeah, and said that something so big is going on, but we think so little of it. And it's that Fran had said it on our Friday meeting, and it was everybody was just like, this is amazing. This is just such a good high that we're doing our jobs and we're doing what's right, because this client is just her, portfolio is just going up, and she's like, I'm just going ahead with life. And it's really
speaking of up, her husband is a squadron leader in a F-35, so he's not an idiot either. So they're a real RAF power couple. They got their second property with us. So for her to be just sitting back enjoying the ride is really awesome. Bradley James, great to see you again last night, mate. If I haven't got your stuff across the Deb, I know that's very close to being done so, mate. So trust the team. Once you build the foundations with the team and establish that transparent friendship, the assurance that progress is happening falls into your emails or via phone calls faster than you think. I blinked and the build was completed. I went on a day. I went on with my day and career like normal, and before I knew it, all lights were green. Having trust in the team and the systems is efficient AF. I say, can you believe this, Caitlin? Bradley James is one of the owners of that
place.
That project in the western part of Brisbane that took the longest of any project we've ever had to undertake. And the fact that he's like, everything happened faster than I think, it's just so amazing.
It's the reason why Nat's lost, a couple of years of and got a few grey hairs. The amount of stress and dealing and project management and back and forth and dealing with upset clients.
Shania just said, I'll just show myself out. I love it.
You won't.
Damo, just like the weekly meeting. Yeah, she sits right next to me. She's like kicking me under the table, mate. She's like, don't forget. And for some reason, it just off my radar. Jen Gaylor from Steve, all exactly the reason why I enjoyed the luxury of Axon builds. You come to us when we need to be involved. We're happy to backseat this limo ride. Such an amazing buddy outlook to have. So, James, let's talk about the little bit of progress we've had so far about finding properties for clients. Like how I know that lights you up a lot. As an ex-int core operator in the Army, all you did was focus your effort and energy towards analysing all the information feeds, corroborating it all, turning it into actual actionable intelligence for people like me to go do things. How are you enjoying the thrill of literally being on the hunt every day for these properties and actually slaying some dragons, getting some results?
And then I found $50. Nah, yeah. It literally, like you said, it is a huge thrill to be able to see the market change twice now in my 2 years working as a property specialist. But then again, even more from a client point of view, we've gone from having blocks of land available and people moving through the process to absolutely no blocks at all for 18 months, and the list of people that are waiting for land
this way,
building and building and building. And at one point we would have had up to 96 people, but because of the way the market was, we were coaching, educating, and transitioning people into somewhat sourcing their own blocks to be able to find it as from the retail list. Mm-hmm. And then moving clients through there. And now, and that has kept, if it wasn't for that, and for people understanding the market and how fast it's moving and not wanting to wait, we would have had over 90 people, but now that's about 60 people that we went through that process.
So good.
And
you had a huge role to play. Can I just funny for a second? Caitlin, tell that story that you said to Cam last night about you were doing something with Teddy and James was there doing something as well. Let us know.
Doing something with Teddy. I had just given birth.
Yeah.
I was in hospital.
I know these ones.
I was not doing one of those ones.
I'm allowing you to tell the story, buddy. What was happening?
So the day after James and I welcomed our last baby, Mr. Theodore Wilkinson, into the world, James is on the phone to clients, coaching them on what to say to secure their own blocks, because it was that crazy about if you did not say the right thing that you would miss out or whatever. And he's on the phone being like, I can't let these clients miss out on another block. And I'm like, get on the phone.
Just posturing people and educating for the best posture possible to move forward. And because not everyone is comfortable doing things like that and saying, telling the developers the right thing. And it's not about tailoring what they have to say. It's about getting through the very diligent due diligence, that the stringent due diligence that the developers have to filter hundreds of people that they had waiting for blocks. So there was a lot of questions that developers asked in order to meet checks and balances to make sure that people were not just tire kickers. So, and some people are not confident in doing that, and that's perfectly fine. So that's where we were just posturing, understanding, coaching, teaching people about how to do that. But it was a very, there was even that one time we were over at SeaWorld with the kids, and I'm just like, give us a minute. And I'm securing a block of land for a client again up in Sunny Coast.
I love it that you love it, dude. It's so
good. I'm just like, go get the kids to go in the pool for 15 minutes.
We had family up. We had our family up from Bathurst, and we had only a few days with them. And James was on the phone in SeaWorld, walking around with his Axon umbrella on the phone to people.
Well, it was raining that day. That's why. Let's add that part. It was actually raining. I'm not just like there going free advertising. Marketing do a great enough job as it is, but I guess to answer your original question, like to see it go back to the space now where, and we said it to, a couple of clients a number of times now, we don't just have a list, or we now currently have about 10 blocks available across the state. And we have about 18 people currently waiting for blocks across the state, different time frames, price point, whatever it may be. It'd be easy for me and Dave and Damo to just go, right, next, but that's not what we do, right? We go, let's find the perfect block, the right location, the right time frame to fit within their whole portfolio and their entire strategy, because that's what number one is the most important. We don't just sell houses at all. We don't sell block. We source the perfect portfolio, the perfect pack for the right people, and and everyone understands that. Like the fact that they may have to sacrifice sitting on hold or on waiting for me and the other two boys to do our job for a couple of months, that just shows that further confidence that they have in us. And we really do. If I can do, to shout out to everyone who has been through that process, absolutely. Like, thank you very much for understanding and waiting. And the whole process, it just makes our job feel a lot more comfortable rather than getting worried, going, oh, well, we have to do this now. We have to move them now. What about move them on another block? It's like everyone understands the process and the strategy. So, thank you to everyone who's been through that process.
Caitlin, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
You've been a client. You now love the fact that James has got an amazing role outside of the defence, and we the three of us all played a really important role in helping James being able to successfully transition.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, everyone becomes a veteran one day, team. Everybody, and you'll spend longer a veteran than what you are in the military. So just prepare for that. So you're incredibly supportive from the sidelines. Do you think now that you're actually inside the wire and you understand the vision and the mission and the values and the reason why the fucking business exists, if James had to take a call under his umbrella with family sitting again, do you think your reaction would be the same or slightly different?
Slightly different, definitely. It what was actually something happened the other night and you were working and I was like, can that stop? But it can't. Like, that's the thing. When it sometimes it can't stop. And
it was actually Saturday morning. We're about to go out.
Yes, that's
Saturday morning. We're going out. We're going out to the shops and then we're going out to the markets, and then I'm typing away. You're like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't talk right now. I'm securing an EOI.
It's a time sensitive. Time sensitive.
So just give me 45 minutes. And it was back and forth with Damon, his name is, and it was back and forth 3 or 4 times. Yep, sweet. Send an email to the developer. So, but at the end of the day, it paid off. It was 45 minutes of my Saturday morning, but it secured him a $640,000 property. Yeah. So that to me, it's not work. It's a satisfaction that he is, he's messaged me a few times saying how happy he is, and that's what we do it for, right?
Yeah.
And that was different. Like, I'm walking upstairs going, oh my God, he takes forever to get ready. And he's like, oh, I'm just working. And I'm like,
I was there with pajamas. I was there with pajamas, like just sitting there doing work. Are you dressed yet? I'm like, it's EOI time. And she's like, okay, right then.
I'm like, okay, hurry it up, work faster.
But no, it's a real, when we spoke to Angie, who's in our leadership team, thanks again, Angie, for all the support you provide, Tammy and I. When she's like, look, other couples in the business, how's it going to work out? We don't want to bloody be the reason why people break up or, couple dynamics in the office. Tammy and I have been perfectly imperfect doing that for years and years and years. We are much better now than what we were. But, it's not a nice thing when you're having a row with your missus in the business and you're both wearing the same shirt. It's a very, very shit feeling, quite frankly. So we didn't want to contribute to that to other people. But, Angie's like, she's like, look, when we do have to do calls after hours, we do have to jump on a call time sensitive sometimes. Like, there's an element of buy-in and commitment and care that you need to be able to show that's very selfless, a little bit like serving in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it, James? Quite frankly, like, it's just like that. Service before self. But now we've got both of you on the same page. I know for a fact that the element of friction or worry or doubt that may or may not be in either of your minds is basically like it's come down a lot. I can only assume, Caitlin.
Yeah, that's it. And like, you know, James and I, we both, to see how much James loved his clients before, it was one thing. But now that I've got my own and I'm like loving being a part of their journey, is just something other. And I do resonate a lot with James on that and how it works. And I, you know, with everybody in the team, it's just amazing to see everybody's dedication to this. And it's just something that, you know, it's fun to do and it makes me so proud and so happy. And, you know, I used to obviously get annoyed when not before Axon being, why are you on the phone? Why are you working? But it's like, I know what you're doing. You're doing a bloody great job and you're helping your clients. And, you know, everybody that are commenting right now being like, you know, Damo helped me and Simo helped me. Like, it's just amazing to see. It's and just
tomorrow
so
night,
good.
Caitlin said to me yesterday, she goes, oh, tomorrow, was it Thursday night? I'll check what day it was then. Yeah. She goes, Thursday night, block this time out because I've got a call with the Harveys. I said, oh, right. Well, I'm jumping on that too. She goes, no, it's a fixing call because they're towards the end of their build. And I'm like, they were, you know, I saw them first. They're mine first. I put the house together for them. I'm jumping on. I'm saying hello.
I want to come and say, oh yeah, how good.
So yeah, it's like a little bit of FOMO. I want to see them. I want to say hello.
That's lovely. So good. Sammy Wynn, so many people have asked what issues we have with our building. I love the fact that I can hand on heart say we had none. The fact that the build support team, shout out to my girl Natalie, are there to take the pressure off us is amazing. I hate to admit how demanding my job is 24/7, and the fact we didn't have to worry about anything was one of the biggest things that we got out of this whole experience. I mean, Sammy, and what you used to do, Caitlin, in the year BA before Axon, you know, working in high stress medical areas, you know, in that sort of whole practitioner care stuff. You've had many other jobs before Axon, and they're civilian jobs. Guess what? This is a civilian job. It's just run by a bloody bunch of bullfed veterans. Well, not that my wife's a bullfed veteran, but you know, you get the picture.
I do.
How is the workplace and how is the work dynamic and the work office different to other ones you've worked in?
It is like 150 million% different and 150 million% better. Working in the medical sector before I had my son, I hated my job, and I stand to this day, I did not enjoy it. I felt like I didn't have someone who understood the fact that I had kids, that I had sick kids sometimes, that I was pregnant. It was super hard being pregnant. I just had a lot of people expect so much of me by giving me no support whatsoever. And it's like, you can't take all this from me and expect all this from me when you're giving me 2%. Like, it's just not working. And I come into the Axon office now and I have got so much support around me, not because I was friends with all of you before joining, but because James has had this from day dot. It's just been amazing, and it's amazing to see. And as James said, we rock, paper, scissors fight this thing when one of the kids is sick, so one of us can come to the office. Yeah, like I want to come in the office. Like it's just so nice. There's just so much support, and it's really good to see. And it's even better to see that, you know, everybody, when I say, oh, my kid's sick, my kid's vomited, or my kid's done this or whatever, you all care, and it's not like, oh, it's another kid. It's another
everyone in the team, not just, you know, it's not just like, can I have a bit of time to do this? It's like everyone's banding in going, you know, is she all right? Is anything I can do? You know, people get locked in COVID or whatever it may be. So we do like little shopping drop-offs and stuff. So, you know, absolutely.
I'm loving the perspective you guys are providing. Paul Cooney, Dog, thanks so much for being online, mate. You're an awesome communicator. Keep doing that. We're going to get started with your property real soon. Pretty stoked for Axon. Simo, in particular's assistance, getting an allocation of a little while back after missing out initially. Thanks, team. Yeah. It's one of those things. I think people that miss out on a block in the first instance appreciate us getting them a block the second or third time around so much more. As opposed to the people that just came in through the system, James, and then they just happened to be on the right time in the right place. We got them a block. They're like, oh, fuck, that was easy. I'm like, no, bro. It's fucking not normally that easy. Like,
That
yeah,
was us.
how easy was it for me to get a block for you guys, back in 2019, 20, whatever it was?
Yeah, well, when we were presented by Damo presented our property to us, I actually did a bit of a flashback, and we looked at our original property pack a couple of weeks ago, and I said, Damo, this house was registered. Like, the block was registered when you presented to us. So there's zero delay.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID, pre-issues, pre-everything. So, we are lucky to have, I say lucky, but we're just in the right place at the right time. To be able to experience it then, but we're also experiencing the current issues and trends that we've seen at the moment. So we never, probably the closest that we're seeing at the moment is land registration up to about 4 or 5 months away, which is that window is starting to come closer rather than 12, 18 months. And we still have those opportunities, and those opportunities are still useful for the right clients, right? Because people are on timeframes, they want to wait until postings and whatever it may be. But it's really good to see builders coming to us going, hey, we've got a block, here's a house and land package, it's registered in November. And it's such a, back to that analysis, it gives us a little bit more time to sit back now, see these new developments, the new areas, and I can put on my Intel hat on and do some analysis of the area, of the 7 ingredients, what's going to be put in there. Not today. It's not about what's in there now in the next 2 years. It's about what's going in 10, 20, 25 years. That's where you build the equity, obviously. But
Good stuff. Dwayne Turvey said this is absolute commitment team. Dwayne, I'm loving the fact that you and Brooke have come into the Axon world. I love the opportunity of being your assistant coach the other day and just seeing the journey you guys have been on. You guys gave us some amazing feedback about what your impression of us is. I'll use this little analogy. Have a listen to this one, team, and have a think about this, whether it sort of pertains to you. Often the reflection we see is not the same as the shadow we cast. I.e., who we think we are when we look in the mirror is not the same way that other people view us. And it's such an interesting little thing that's going around in my head at the moment. And don't get me wrong, we should not be going around wondering what other people are thinking of us, because they're probably not. Everyone, I don't give a fuck about anyone else. Like, I'll go back. I care immensely about the people that are in my world that I'm fucking working with. But those people that are not in my world, I don't think about. Right? So it's all like influence and control. Did I back out of that well? Hopefully. Anyway,
recovered.
So I'm really, really glad, Dwayne, that you and Brooke are doing your stuff, and exactly the things that we're talking about now, buddy, about us getting some influence and reaching into the network of people that we know to get you guys a perfect block, for the perfect time frame, is absolutely going to occur. Harry's back in the game again. Damo helped us secure our property over text on a Sunday morning. Yep. Sometimes developers do a release on a Sunday, and sometimes that means that we all need to drop what we're doing and make it happen. So, it's so good. Harriet loves the commitment of this team. Angie loved the flexibility Axon provides, and even though we all do work hard, we play hard as well. Yes, we do. I'm taking the girls out for a cheeky little lunch, aren't I, Caitlin? It's RT and the Build Support girls.
Yep, and it's cheeky.
Which would be good. Yep. Bradley James, not working to live, living to work. 100%, brother. I love that. Mm-hmm. CJ Wynn, we're happy to be having the experience whereby we had a pre-COVID build, and then we had the back and forth and the block acquisition during the highly sought after land market, and now looking forward to what's next post-COVID. Correct. You guys jumped on that bloody roundabout, mate, which wasn't very pleasant, I know. So it's a bloody crazy sometimes when there's, dozens and dozens of people going for just a short amount of blocks. And Mum's giving me the thumbs up there. Hopefully that's from my lack of swearing tonight, Mum, which I hope you're enjoying. Caitlin, what else am I going to ask you?
Oh, lots.
What's the thing that you love the most about working with Axon or fulfilling your role? Like, what's the one thing you absolutely look forward to the most?
So the one thing I do look forward to the most is just walking in the morning, and not because Dubs is going to be scaring me. Doing a TikTok. Yeah, or you. I'll get to that. It's just, it is seeing everybody, and every single time that one person walks in, everybody says good morning. Like, maybe not that polite, but we're saying good morning, and we're all having fun as soon as we get into the office. The second thing Yeah, the
great.
second thing that I love is that just talking to clients, and when they're, happy about the smallest things, kind of like, an EOT was retracted, or, they're happy with an update and they never asked for, or something like that. They'll say, oh, thank you so much. Like, it's really nice that you reached out, and really nice that you took that time to do that. And it's like those little bits is, yeah, I don't say good morning like that, Shania. I know.
Not to her anyway.
Free coffee.
Not to her. No, I'm joking. We
Like,
have
there you go, bitches.
pretty much. I'm like, pretty much. Good morning, bitches. I'm here. But yeah, it's just really good to have those really good small confirmations from your clients that you're on the right track and you're doing something good.
Caitlin, do you know and do you feel in your interactions with your clients that they are the defence community, either serving members, Army, Navy, Air Force, or veterans? Found their new role. Like, does that come through in your interactions with them? Because you've had plenty now.
Yeah, and honestly, it just feels like I'm talking to my friends. Like, I have a lot of, veteran friends. I've got a lot of friends that are still serving, and, I've got a lot of veteran spouse friends, and we all talk in the same language. So I know how to talk to you, and you know how to talk to me. And, I've been there with a lot of the women that I'm with that are my clients, and it's just, it's just like a family environment. And that's the same thing as when you're getting posted to different locations. It's so easy to make friends in those locations because you're all the same, and you're all doing the same thing, being taken away from your family and moving, and you make your new family. And just like James and I have always said, and we've got clients that are with Axon, they're our new family because we moved and we done our hard postings with them, and they were with us when we discharged and we were into that unknown. So it's just, it feels very family orientated, and that's what, the defence community is all about.
I guess it feels very natural to you as well because, growing up being a country girl, Axon, we're all about the no bullshit approach, right? Like, even if we're displaying bad news, or we're having to pass on some, not so good news, should I say, we're always about that. This is just how it is. Here's a problem. This is what we're going to do to fix it. And this is what we've done to fix it. It's not just about bullshit baffles brains. Let's just, sweep it under the rug and hopefully people won't know. It's, here's your problem. This is what we're going to do. And in some cases, I've seen you, Caitlin, come forward with builders who have offered a solution to a problem, being if we continue using bricks, for example, or we switch to a different product, it'll save X amount of time, and therefore we can relate that to X amount of dollars in finance and how much the property isn't going to be tenanted, etc. So, you're starting to see a little bit of positive news in that sense where we can speed builds along.
Yeah, it's really good to see. I know that I feel every week when I do my build support review that there's so much more. How many steps in your process, buddy? 60?
62, 63?
60 odd, something like that. And I just feel like we're moving people through so much quicker these days, or like at least there's a bit of traction.
Yeah.
Whereas I just remember a couple of months ago, I'm like, fuck, we've got like 25 people waiting for building approvals and no slabs are being poured. And, but once it does start ticking over, it does happen like a bit more of a regular drumbeat. And then, of course, we get into the enclosed or the fixing stages where they're doing the roofs and the walls and the windows or the cabinetry and the tiling and the waterproofing. Like, that shit doesn't happen in 2 days.
No.
Because when you're on the block, when you've got high pages fucking tradies everywhere, this ain't the block, right?
I wish.
Yeah, that's right.
I wish I could call up them and be like, hey, go and work on my house because I need it to be.
Was it they pull a handle and then they get like the priority everything? It's
this looks like, I feel like that's the way it used to be, but now there's just fucking high pages trade.
Yeah, it's just media gimmicks, let's face it. So
every episode.
Yeah.
Caitlin, do you find it easy to be able to relate to people that you have been in their shoes as a client, so you know how they're feeling, but also you're literally going through your own build of your own home right now?
That's it. And I sympathize with a lot of people that are going through the builds right now. And as I say, we had our first investment property pre-COVID. So that went up in 4.5 months, 5 months. It was something crazy.
That was the standard back then, mate.
It was. Yeah. And that's it. And here I was thinking in my mind that our dream home that we're building right now is going to be doing the same. But let me tell you something. I have never been so angry in my life I had EOTs, I had price rises, I was ready to fight these people. And I said to James, I'm going to grab him. I'm like, I'm just going to fight him because I was so angry. But we finally got a slab after 383 days. And I know exactly how many days because I was that angry about it. But guess what? The moment I saw that slab, all that anger went away. And like, I've got a house being built right now. And I'm
now
so
the frame's up already. How long after the slab was the frame up?
A week.
Boom.
Boom.
4 days. To be exact.
Okay, not even a week.
4 days to be exact.
Look at this. She no longer cares, James.
I don't care about days.
There you go. She's back in that lane. Yeah. So.
Listen, I got the slab and I held on to my bottle of champagne that I have been saving to drink for however long, Robbie.
We shared that with you, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Good. Yeah.
And we opened that when we got the slab, and it was just the most happiest time because it was like it's all happening, and I'm not going to sit here and hold on to all this anger of the EOTs that I had, or we had, sorry, the price rises, the bits that the builder forgot to add on and then had to charge us later. I didn't keep that to heart because you know why? It's just happening, and I'm not going to let them suck out my happiness.
No, but right now, like it's one of those things that your main frustration was coming from that we were moving into our own home.
Yes.
And that's just where the passion and the the care factor and the love comes into it. It would be a completely different story if it was an investment. Whereas, we received the information as a problem. There was, we were dealing with it directly as, essentially Axon, but it's, other people like, clients of Axon, we filter it. So, like I said before, here's the problem. However, we've got a solution. So we move forward. So, yeah.
And that's something that's something that as well I was dealing with when I wasn't at Axon. So I didn't know a lot of things.
You've got a different viewpoint now, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now I have changed view because the moment I actually started doing a few building approvals at work, I was like, holy damn, like I actually know how to read a few of these things now. Like
good.
And then I actually came home, reread all of mine and was like, hold on a second. About this.
Yeah.
We're going back to get that.
Good.
And it's
good.
it's good.
Perspective's everything, mate, isn't it? It's so good. Like you guys are building your own home, but you don't have an Axon build support team supporting you. You're dealing directly with the builder. Tammy and I are doing the same thing.
I don't like
I almost feel like, I would hate to try and, like, we're in the industry. We know what's going on. I've seen 350 builds with Axon take place, right? But now I'm going through my own build and of my own home, even though I've built a number of houses as an investor as well. Fuck, if I was a young family or a young person doing this by themselves for the first time ever with no build support, it would be one scary. Like James, we had a call a few weeks ago of old mate down in Canberra who just thought it was a good idea that he was just I think he's just about to settle on his block of land or something.
Yeah.
And he jumps on a call with me, he goes, hey, Robbie, I've had a bit of a think about it with my missus. We feel like we want to project manage this ourselves. So I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, like, we've done our own research and stuff, and I feel like we can understand the timeline. So if you can you just give us the builder's details, we're just going to build the house ourselves. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, bro, I'm not going to fucking stop you if that's what you want to do, if you've done your research. And then we asked him a few questions of which he had no fucking idea about the answer. I'm like, Rex Hunt, kiss the fish, in you go, fucking no dramas. Yeah. But Jesus Christ, I would not want to be able to navigate my way through building a house right now without the support of somebody who knows what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Like, you and I got off that call and we're like, this fucking guy lost his fucking marbles. Like, it was just
one of the statements was,
like, bro, let us help you with the first one so we can coach and guide and mentor you through. You want to go do the second one by yourself? Fucking off you go. No dramas. But why would you not want to do it by yourself? Sorry, why would you want to do it by yourself? It was just silly. So,
as he said, I've got friends in New South Wales who built the house 2 years ago, and we're like, different state, different policies, different procedures, different timeline, different era, different pre-COVID. Like, there's just so many factors now. And like I said before, Robbie, like, just in my time, the industry has changed significantly 3 times in 2 years, where our game is consistently changing and we have to be on board with every single step. And whilst I love that, you know, I can't imagine if you don't have that passion, God, I wouldn't want to be doing it. So,
and this guy works full time, and he's full time at university. I'm like,
and uni, yeah, that's right. Yeah, officer, and yeah.
We're just about to come up to 1930.
Yeah.
CJ Wynn, I can see the thought of doing it on our own is actually repulsive when you know the alternative. Wilkinson, brother, great to see you, mate. Another veteran joining us here on the session. Hi, Robbie, watching your business with interest, thinking about getting on board. Mate, just ping me on Facebook and we can have a chat.
Don't think about it.
In the house.
Axon members only replay. Caitlin and James, I've loved this. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being so raw, real, authentic, no bullshit up front. You're wearing the Axon badge as something that I know that you guys really embody. I hope everyone got something out of it. You now understand what makes us all tick, and I guess you're getting a little insight into what actually goes on behind the Axon wall. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Deb. Appreciate it. Go away, do great things. See you guys nice and early tomorrow morning. See you, team. Thank you.
Right. See ya.